Welcome everybody to LegionsCast. What's going on? We're back. I don't know what chapter this is, but I don't care. We're going for it.
63.
Chapter 63 of LegionsCast. It's time to cast some Legions. We've got some things to talk about, and it's gonna be fun. With us here today is myself, Lord Stephen Bishotti, and with me is the other two co-hosts. Emil's here from Sweden. Len's here from Brooklyn. Right?
No sleep.
Brooklyn.
I feel so valuable and so loved when you introduce like that.
And Jesse is here
like,
from
just
his...
imagine the Oscars. Like if you would have gotten an award, like, and over here we have Len, and he did some stuff. And moving on to
And today we're joined by Jesse, who's from his car. It's us. Are you all right in there, buddy?
I'm warm. It's warm.
Are you gonna have to roll down the window? And
They are down.
Okay,
my
good.
driver's side one doesn't go down, but the rest of them are down.
Well, I hope you have enough water and you're okay.
I do have water. Thank you.
I hope a fireman doesn't show up and pull him out of
Bust
there.
the window out.
Yeah.
Bust the window out.
What?
So, yeah. We've got some fun stuff to do today. We're going to break down, or Emil's going to take us for another walk through a faction focus of the Xylona's flock. Jesse loves the Xylona, so he is here to enjoy that with us and add his comments, questions, thoughts, whatever.
maybe
So-
he is the one sitting with all the knowledge here. So like every little thing about Xylona, he will be like, well, it depends what year we're talking about. If it's the year before Xylona was born, and
Yes.
I did
Possibly.
reread through the bios to make sure I was up to date.
Oh,
that's
this is
good.
homework.
That's good.
Me too. I've been doing a lot of homework for the show. Preparation is the key, I always say.
I see this as, when you're in school and it's like you're teaming up with groups and you somehow get in the same group as Steven. And it's like, that, yeah, he's going to be around here and it's going to be a lot of fun. And he's going to show up when it's time for the presentation and we're going to get straight A's for the presentation. Thanks.
Well, we'll do the best we can. For those of you joining in for the first time, I am Lord Steve Bishotti. They call me a Lord because my wife bought me a certificate. I like to customize stuff, and I love Mythic Legions. Emil is the best customizer in the world. He's in the Guinness Book of World Records as doing the most and best and highly sought after tribute customs. Len LaGuardia over there, he is the sipper of drinks, the bandana wearing, lovable purple gang shirt guy from the Wolf King Customs, and Jesse Arnold is here. Jesse's that lovable guy that everybody knows. We see him around. He does a lot of great things.
All the things.
I mean, just look at him. What more do I gotta say? Look at him. He's happy. He's here. He's bearded. See, I stated a lot of the obvious right there, and I think we're ready to go.
All of that feels accurate for everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And can I say, Steve, you were looking good, sir.
Thanks, buddy.
You were looking better every 2 weeks that we see you. Look at
trying.
You are.
Trying. So, yeah. So it's time to get to the land of Mythos. We had some cool stuff happening this week, or since we have done a Legions cast, we've had some really cool stuff happen. We had a Figura Obscura drop to begin with. Didn't see that coming. Did you guys see that coming? I mean, I don't. I mean, was everybody going? Was anybody saying there's going to be a Figura Obscura anytime now?
Yes.
You were.
We were hoping.
We also.
We were everyone in the community were thinking like, this is usually the time when we hopefully get a figure obscura.
I wasn't. I was thinking about other things, and then a figure obscura tease came out, and boom! Now we did a reaction show, so we've kind of
Reacted.
voiced our initial thoughts. You guys should watch that; it's actually quite fun. If you're at home and you want to check that out, it's on this channel. And we're gonna be that was a lot of fun. But now I have received my box. Len has got his. Jesse, do you have yours yet?
I got mine Tuesday night.
Tuesday
Well,
night.
I opened them Tuesday night. Yeah.
And I would guess Emil does not have his, right?
Not yet. Not yet.
Not yet.
Yet. Soon.
So, 80 thoughts. I have not opened my packaging yet. I've not taken mine out of the packaging yet.
Why not?
Just no time.
Okay.
Just busy. And you know, a figure obscura opening is kind of a process. It's kind of a, it's a beautiful box. There's beautiful art. You kind of want to enjoy it. You want to be able to not be distracted, in my opinion, when you do a figure obscura. Actually, almost any Mythic Legion is like that. But figure obscura, I think, is a little more like that. There's just so many options, so much to play with, so much extra stuff, such great artwork to enjoy. And this one's 2 figures, so it's even double all that. So I just haven't. What's that?
When you're looking at the box art, I heard that Nate has hidden a lot of different stuff on the box.
Nice. So I'm not going to comment, but Len and Jesse, do you guys have any comments? Anything with initial reactions you want to talk about to these figures?
I'll let our guest go first.
Oh,
Jesse?
to be honest, these are probably my favorite things that the Four Horsemen have put out to date.
Wow.
I think, all the new parts, they're just, like you said, everything, the whole package of it is just beautiful and an experience in and of itself. And every figure obscura is similar, but very different. I'm going to have to go back and really look over all the packages, because Nate does love to hide, little extra things in there when he can. I know there's a lot of fun stuff to see on the Horseman one, the Headless Horseman, and this one, I did pick up some of the things, but the figures themselves are just really nice. The articulation's nice and tight on the joints, but yet loose enough that the couple things I did pop and swap during the live show that I did unboxing, they came out nicely, and just so many details, so much. The value on these things, I know some people kind of hesitate at the price point, but it's easily worth way more than what we pay for them. So I think they're fantastic.
And you're big into Egyptian lore as well. I mean, lore. Yeah.
I don't know, huge. I mean, it's definitely something I have like a passing interest in and enjoy. This is like the first thing I've ever had really like in hand, besides a figure from like the Mummy Returns, to really go for this. So.
Well, I was actually in Cairo many years ago, and to the Museum of Cairo in Egypt, and just seeing some of these, there are a lot of different artifacts and stuff, kept from that era. So it's, I mean, of course, it's beautiful to see it there, and then you can clearly see the heavy inspiration, the research that Eric put into this. I'm just saying, wow.
Yeah,
Len, you posted a pretty good picture of all the stuff laid out. What's your initial thoughts on these guys?
Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing. Like you said, had to set that time aside to really open it up and give it the time that it needs to really like kind of get it all, because there's a lot there. There's a lot going on with it, and I feel like almost every Obscura as they go, I feel that more and more. Like there's a lot going on. I know with Monkey King it was the same way. You were like, there's a lot of pieces, a lot of things. It's amazing. My family and we're very much into the whole Egypt thing. We've gone to all the museums. We've seen the traveling King Tut. when we went to Vegas, we stayed in the Luxor because it was
Cool.
Egypt. Like my wife loves it that. Like her dream is to go to Cairo one day. Like that's like something that one of those bucket list things she would love to do. So this set,
Are you a fan of
What's
the Bengals?
I love that song. Are you kidding me? Of course.
I just thought thought it was
Have you seen
relevant.
Manic Monday,
Bengals?
right?
What's that? Manic Monday.
Manic
Sure.
Monday. Yeah.
Exactly. Where was I? Emma, where was I?
The
Trafficking
family
King
loved
Tut.
it.
Yeah. So it
Wanna go
was.
to-
It's an amazing set. I love it. My wife gave it the stamp of approval too. It's super cool. It's really cool to have two different body types in one thing, even though they're not a set. I mean, they're a set, right? I mean, that's the way I'm looking at it. And to have the two different, the 1.0, the 2.0, there's a billion options for display, and just a package unto its own, despite the sum of the parts being really cool parts for customs. It's a really cool package. Like everything's neat in it. I will admit that this is the first Obscura that I opened that about 10 minutes after I kind of laid it out and looked at it, I wanted to start tearing it up. I'm not like that. Like I will set it up and enjoy it, but man, there's some amazing parts in this thing. And I'm not like that with Obscura, but whew, there's some good stuff in there. Like you just look at it all and you're like, oh, look at this arm. Oh, look at this. Look at this foot. Like you're like, it's so good. It's so good. Right, Jesse?
Yeah, for sure. And one thing I noticed, or not noticed, but it's got on the wrists and the ankles, they've got the bracelets or the bangles, no pun intended. Bangles, not bengals. That if you slide them down, like once you get into a pose, you can't like, lock the joint, but they kind of like slide over, so you can kind of hide that little bit of articulation there, because they're soft and you can move them, so it kind of helps for photos and stuff. Since this is the first two figures we've got that have so much bare part showing, like all the way down to the hands and stuff, except for the little bracelet. So yeah, it's really cool.
Well, cool. I'm pretty excited to get into mine as well and enjoy it. The Horsemen never disappoint, so I'm never really, never skeptical. I always just prepare to be dazzled. So it's gonna be great. Also, as Len is showing us, still available right now for last chance, Figura Obscura. So you want to go over to Store Horsemen and grab them before they're all gone, because when they're all gone, then we gotta wait for the retailer release and see what kind of crazy colors they slap on these people.
Yeah.
So
Do you have any idea?
I don't. I have no idea what they're gonna do. There's so much. It's such a rich color palette right now that they could just.
My knowledge is too tiny to get an idea of what would be, different kind of color for these, because this is exactly how I would imagine them.
Yeah. Mm.
But
my guess for colors would be either go like with that sandstone, kind of like the hieroglyph carvings, to make them look more statue-like, or go the opposite direction and go like all black, kind of like the black marble heads on they have like the two alternate heads for each of them that look more like that black kind of onyx, whatever statue. So I could see them doing it across the whole body that way.
Got it. Yeah.
No. Whatever they do, it's usually cool. So just have to wait. Be patient.
And they're gonna do more.
That's what they say.
I'm really so looking forward to playing with these. And
yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
All right, so moving on. That was the first cool thing that happened since the last time we had a LegionsCast. But then just shortly, a day ago? Maybe was it yesterday? Was it the day before? I don't know. We got another teaser drop for apparently what I'm guessing is another wave coming. So I don't know. Do you have that to pull up?
That's
Glenn just yeeted himself out of the
then
show.
dropped. So let's see.
Oh, I thought Len just
Um,
was usually sometimes he goes away and then puts stuff up, but
I'm gonna try it. It was,
'cause
yesterday.
it was yesterday. Days are a blur for
Something we
me.
can have a look at.
Ophidian is fallen. All that remains is ash, and the stories of those who fought. Mythic Legions Ashes of Agbendar. Live wave reveal special. Happening on May 31st at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube.com. Four Horsemen Studios. You know the channel. If you're watching this, I'm sure you know where to find this. Yeah, so it looks like this could be like a whole new part of the story, is my guess. What do you guys think?
Oh, definitely. And they gave a lot of hints. But if we just go, I mean, that the Second Great War is over, and we haven't heard how it ended,
Yeah.
We just know that the Second Great War is over, and a lot of heroes have fallen. So
Well,
Ophidian is, that's where Convocation of Basilia is located. And Ashes of Agbendor. I mean, Agbendor is the tower where they keep all the scrolls, like the Samir Scroll Warden. That's where he used to be. I have an idea.
okay, we'd like to hear it.
That the story-wise, he is, recalling, he is writing down about the heroes. So that way we can go back in time, so we get to experience
I'd
the
step out
war
again.
through stories back in time. So where whoever has fallen, he just left. It's Steven.
I'm listening, Emil.
And I appreciate that. So I'm seeing that we'll get a couple of waves, maybe, with heroes, maybe dark warriors as well. But maybe and this scribe will give us the details about them. So they jump to the end and then tell the stories of the war. So it's not like there are some people who are talking about that they missed the war. Now they can't experience it. We were just looking forward to the great fights. I think we're going to experience all those fights. Just, looking back instead of looking what's ahead. That's my idea.
I agree. I mean, because if I'm not saying this is the example that they're following, but if you watch the movie 300, you hear the narrator talking, but you're watching the movie as it's happening. He's telling the story when he's a kid, then he's telling like the current story that's the bulk of the movie, and then by the end of the movie, spoiler alert, it's been out long enough. This isn't really a big deal. You realize that the narrator is telling a story in front of a group of people, like that's the current setting, which is after the events of the movie. So I think it's going to be that, its own thing in that kind of way, where it's like you said, it's either he's writing it down, or maybe there's a group of people together kind of recalling the moments, like, oh man, so and so, they fell, but remember when this happened, and they, during the battle, and they did this thing that saved all these people, or whatever. I think there's going to be a lot of really cool storytelling, and a cool way to see new, either version 2s or just new characters completely.
I think a combination. I think it's time for everyone. A lot of people have speculated about Oto 2.0. I think it would be a great opportunity for him to return, But if he's part of the scrolls, then we're talking about characters dying.
Could be both. Maybe we get a new character that died in the war.
Yes. Oh, okay. Yeah. Len,
Yeah,
you have any ideas?
I think it's a bunch of 2.0s. Not 2.0 figures, but remakes.
Yeah. Version
Just a
2.
guess. Yeah, version 2s. This is, to me, this is taking place of what we traditionally saw being All-Stars. So in a way, that's like a little fitting because it's like bringing back old characters but different.
Okay. So you mean for, let's say, this wave is, after the war. Bam bam bam, like an all-stars. They're bringing back the all-star heroes from the war. And when we get closer to LegionsCon and GCon, then we're continuing the main story
Sure.
Maybe. Sure.
with the Great Beast returning before the end of the Great War. So we can jump in the storyline by doing this.
Mhm.
This is an idea from Curtis here. Maybe it's a character we thought played a small role, but they stepped up at the right time and became something more.
Sure.
Definitely think that could be something, and that could work into when the book. I don't know, characters that when they started writing the book and they realized that we want this to be this character to be having a bigger role, and then we work it in like this, like someone who was not a nobody but a small character, and now we get to hear what he really did, or he or she did.
Thistlethorn healer, the hero of Mythos.
I think actually that could be one of the characters that he just ran. He just left to the north in the snow.
Oh, sorry, my Wi-Fi is breaking up. I gotta go.
Okay, so just kidding.
Maybe it's like a in memoriam wave where all the figures are ones that were, gave all for the war, and
Yeah.
they're no longer around. And maybe I had floated the idea of maybe we're going to see some guys that were previously not skeletons turned into skeletons or turned into vampires. I forget. Do vampires get turned in Mythos, or is that different? Or do they?
It's
not?
unclear. It's unclear.
Is it okay?
I think it could be both. So hopeful for this. I'm super excited about this.
Yeah. It's all new, right? I mean, this
Yeah.
time of year we'd normally be seeing something about All Stars, something to something, and this is so different. So it's fun. I'm sure it's frustrating to some older fans that just like the same thing, but I think it's exciting just to have have it mixed up.
Yeah. I feel a lot more excited about this than that I used to do for baby vampires.
I don't know, Jordan. It's absurd, but it's also terrifying. Baby vampires.
Let's not go there, maybe. Okay. So really looking forward to this, and we'll obviously be following this live, during the live. So shall we move on? I see we get a message from Steven. Let's move on. Do you want to say something else, Len, Jesse, before about this?
No, I don't really know anything else, so I don't really
We
know
don't.
what to say.
But
I'm
I'll agree
excited.
with you. I think this will be like a memoriam or stuff from the war, and the G-Con wave will be shakeups of what the world is like after the war. So I agree with that.
Yeah, it's going to be cool no matter what it is. Like I keep seeing people speculating or getting nervous or worried, and I say just let the horseman take the wheel, slide over and let him go, and don't worry about it. And I think as we move forward as a collector, everyone has to remember you don't need everything, right? Like you don't need to buy everything. I know we all feel that way that we do, but if you feel stressed because there's a lot of stuff coming out, maybe you need to like realize you don't have to have all of it. Because I'm just seeing a lot of that, like chatter wise, especially after
You see that?
the figure Obscura drop being a double figure set, and you know, pick and choose.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, that's partially why I don't collect much of anything else besides Legion stuff anymore. So
Yeah, I'm down. I'm personally down to like just Legions and Mezco, and even that I'm choosing. Like, so I'm not getting all of it. See, like Cave Dweller here. He says, "Thank you, Len. I'm new to collecting this line and feeling completely overwhelmed." Well, that's the main thing, Cave Dweller. You don't feel overwhelmed. Don't let it be an obsession. Just take your time. If you come into this and you are guns blazing and you try to get everything as fast as possible, you're going to be frustrated and you're going to probably pay too much. Come in slow, meet people in the community, make friends, join the cabal, find people to do trades with, find people to get good deals from. Take your time.
Yeah.
You don't have to fly in, and maybe you can just limit it to certain things. Maybe you just want to start with one faction, or you want to, stay with the new stuff and the old stuff doesn't bother you. I mean, let's be honest, the new stuff is better, right? Like, the articulation's going to be better, the paint's better, everything's better with the newer. It's that like collector, like where you need to have the old stuff.
Yeah. I've definitely tried to step away from that, but I do respect, and understand that people want everything. So
Sure.
I we're different, but coming into the line late, that should not stop you from joining the community and enter the line. Start where you are, and I definitely don't have everything, and I'm not planning to either because I want to enjoy.
Yeah, you just
What I
go
can.
slow and get everything as you need it. Hey, Steve.
Hi,
Welcome back.
Sorry, guys.
It's okay.
I had a work emergency I had to deal with. I did say I said I had to step out, but it didn't come through the mic. I don't think so. Anyway, I don't know what you guys said, but I think
I'm just gonna stop you there. It's like the funny thing, like, so guys, what do you think? And then leaves the room, let us talk about it, and then comes back like, so what it really is. sorry.
I think this could be a battle that happened at the end of the Great War, right? Or as part of the Great War.
Mhm.
So we're not necessarily, it talks. In fact, isn't the clue? It's alive. Isn't it a past tense?
Yes.
People have fallen.
Yes.
So these could be people we have lost in this certain battle, and I don't think they're going to give us figures of people who were lost. I think that would be kind of weird. But like, hey, this is so and so. He's dead. You know what I mean?
We think that they will.
Yeah.
That they will.
Yeah. That
Here's
we'll see the heroes and remember these heroes
Yeah. Like
who fought
in
and died.
memoriam.
Huh.
Not only that, but we definitely don't.
But like,
Yeah.
one thing I think, like you were saying, in not feeling the pressure to get it all in, is like, even if these are characters who have died, it's like, if you look at like your Star Wars shelf, how many of the characters in your Star Wars shelf are characters that are dead in the way the story has progressed? Like,
Now you're making us sad, Jesse.
Well,
Now we
no,
look at
or
the
any
shelves
story.
and just-
I'm just saying, like,
It's a
at
good
some
point.
point the story's going to move on, and
Exactly.
it's been 10 years that these figures have been coming out.
I'll tell you what. It's less and less figures that are dead in Star Wars because you can just take a lightsaber to the gut. No big deal anymore.
Okay, I should have said something other than Star Wars. Sorry.
Yes, you should. You should not have gone there, Jesse. I'm sorry, but you did. Okay.
But I mean, like,
Razor
you
Crest.
even if they are dead, you can still recreate the stories with
Yes.
the characters. I mean, all the Necronominus wave of heroes, except for Gideon, came with skeleton replacement heads. So,
Which is why I didn't like Star Wars figures. Now I'm gonna relate this to Mythic Legions. So we're getting there. I'm not going on a Star Wars tangent, but I kind of am, but it relates. This is true. When I was a kid, I didn't really like. I love Star Wars. I always loved Star Wars, the movies when I was growing up. I never really cared for the toys. We got Bespin Luke. We already know what happened there. It's no fun to just relive it, you know. I am your father. No! I mean, we already did that. What good has Bespin Luke, right? There's no imagination left. We already seen how this plays out. I didn't understand how to play with the figures. Masters of the Universe, totally different. You get a figure, you don't even know what the guy is. He's called Beastman. You just make it up as you go along, right? There's many of adventures that you can, even when the cartoon came out, there's many adventures out there that you figure also happened that we didn't know about, so you could use your imagination. Legions also has enough loosey-goosey in the story. The story's there, but there's enough loosey-goosey that you can use your imagination and have fun and speculate and put different people and match them up together and everything else, and that's what I love about Mythic Legions. So giving me a figure of a person who's dead seems boring to me, kinda? Does that make sense?
First of all, Steve, I love that you play with your figures that way. I can picture you in your basement playing with your figures, doing the stories, and that's wonderful. But I know myself, I just put it on a shelf.
When you were a kid?
No, now. I didn't have Mythic Legions when I was a kid, so I don't know, see how it's relevant.
I thought you were going back to Star Wars.
No, you did.
I know. I compared. Okay, so Mythic Legion. I mean, I do think I do when I set my shelves up. I think I do it in a way of like, well, this would be funny if this would be fun if these two characters were opposed to each other, or these two characters were interacting, and everything else. You know, you can't with Star Wars toys. You can't put Farm Boy Luke with Lando Calrissian because he never knew him in that outfit.
I didn't like the Star Wars toys because their knees didn't bend and you couldn't get them in this ship. But that's just my personal opinion.
I'm gonna fight you. Fight you.
Well, before we move away from this, if I can just make a plug real quick. Next week on Offworld, after the live stream, we'll be doing an after party about the Ashes of Bendigo line wave. Whatever it's called.
Awesome.
Well, awesome.
Sorry,
That's
I'm getting
good.
hot and my brain's starting to malfunction.
Do we need to call a
we haven't
firefighter?
started with Xylona yet.
Are we gonna make it through? Are you gonna make
I
it through?
don't know.
I'm
We're gonna
worried about you.
Jesse,
We're going to watch Jesse melt.
Can we do something for you?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
All right.
I just couldn't get Egmondor out. I got it now. I just needed some water.
All right.
Got it.
Well, anyways, whatever it is, it's gonna be awesome. That's my
It's gonna be
guess.
awesome. It's gonna
That's
be
my
awesome.
prediction. So I can't wait to see what we get. But that being said, I think we're caught up, and it is time to go into Mr. Wickman's faction focus.
Dun, dun, dun.
Awesome. Okay, welcome to Faction Focus.
Is that- What music was that?
I don't know. We're changing segments, so we need music.
I thought it was some kind of Xylona music.
might be.
Oh, I can't do that. I can't do the high notes. That would have to be like a flute.
So, we
I
gotta
wonder
make
if
the.
music would sound like Heilong.
Like what?
The band Heilong. Never mind, that's a different story for me.
So, let's short background story. Helios and Selene, they created everything, and Selene fell in love with her creation, and Helios got envious and created some evilness. This is a story a text I wrote, Mythic Legions Arise. It's a song. I wrote the song and then I used AI to create music according to how I wanted it to be. And it tells the story, the creation story, in a very simple manner of Helios and Selene and the creation of the 4 dark gods and the 4 great beasts. So I just want to show you. It's on YouTube. You can just search for that if you want to. I thought it was a creative way to teach the story of Helios and Selene. Where we are here is that
Helios created after a while the 4 dark gods, which it actually doesn't say that he created them, but they were created somewhere along the line. And they trashed everything. And death was upon Mythos. So Selene interfered and created the 4 great beasts. And today we're gonna focus on Xylona, who was created, as a counterpart to Ilithia, the evil vampires, symbolizing famine, So here we have the symbol of Xylona's flock. And the first thing we do with Xylona is to show the world map of Mythos. And where do we have Xylona, Steven?
In Xylernia.
In Xylernia, up here to the northeast. That's where we have Xylernia, and it's connected to the white spine where the Ilithia, all the vampires are located. We're gonna start with some faction facts. I thought that was a nice idea to just summarize some of the important things about Xylona and the lands. So I picked a few points here. And first of all, when we're talking about Xylona, we're thinking about the nature, we're thinking about elves and fey creatures of different kinds. And that is what Xylona's flock mainly is, But it's definitely a powerful, strong army. They have plenty of it, so it's not a weak, small faction in any way. It's actually the thing with Xylona is actually the connection to nature is actually, you could say that this is the faction, the people that are closest connected to Selene herself. So this is, it's not just Jesse's favorites. I guess it's Celine's favorites as well. So.
But it does say in the flock page, if I can interject real quick, I don't want to cut you off.
Here we go.
No. That partially because the people of Xylona's flock are so in touch with nature and the elements of nature and all of that sort of thing, they're the ones that have the strongest bonds to the great beasts and the things from before, and that gives them a sort of celebrity status in the rest of the realms.
Awesome.
Nice.
And this, Jesse, feel free to add on, because I've looked through the materials and I picked out a few pieces. But feel free. You're here because you are a Xylona fan, so feel free to add what you want to. First faction fact is Castle Silverhorn, located in the middle of Xylernia. This is where the queen lives. This is the heart of Xylernia. And it's very well guarded. You can say that it's guarded in, first of all, we have Xylernia. We have guards around the border. We have guards around the realm. But when we come to Castle Silverhorn, there are like 3 layers of protection, you can say. And the first, what would you say? The first
line.
Thank you. The first line, I would say, of defense would be the beast guard of the outer perimeter. This is the line of defense that you can read least about as of now. So, but you can just imagine the beast guard, what it means. Second layer is the sentries of the outer wall. We have Commander we'll go more into details later, but we need to know that there are 3 layers and the centers of the outer wall. And then we have the royal guards, who are the closest one, the last line of defense to protect the queen. And then we have Whisper Whale in the north. Stephen, do you know anything about Whisper Whale?
I do not know. I've never heard a whale whisper.
You-
So
Uh,
no. But I was just
Like-
thinking about
like-
this whole. I want to go back. I was just thinking about the whole 3 lines of defense. I think it would make fun. I mean, I would assume that each line is harder to beat. Like your Beast Guard, you go through those guys, and that might, if you get through those guys, well, then you got to get through the sentries, and those guys are even tougher, and then you got to get through the Royal Guards, and those are even tougher.
Mhm.
I think that's backwards. You just put your Royal Guards first. If they get through that, retreat. Because if they already got through your best troops, you got to get the heck out of there. All right,
That is true.
and then run.
But
That's how. If I was a king, that's how I'd run my kingdom. Put the best guys out front. You get through them. Run. Just saying. Move on, please.
So you want the worst soldiers closest to you as king?
I'm assuming they're going to be running with me.
Oh, okay.
I would think that the best troops you have the least of, so maybe you can't, you don't have a wide area, a bigger area.
Mhm.
So smaller area demands less troops, and then you have your elites closest to you. It's just an idea. The lore doesn't say, but I like it, my lord. I like it.
Tell us about Whisper. Whisper.
That's when you play
Veil.
a game, a strategy game of any kind. You just use the elite troops. You skip everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So Whisper Whale. Why I asked you, Stephen, is because one of your favorite characters is a Whisperling, a very special kind of a sub race of the elves.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they are especially known for their arcane magic, that they use with the trees around them.
Hmm.
Okay, you remember
Mhm.
who she is?
Yeah, I think so.
Huh? Okay.
I'm trying to think of her name. It's a female, right?
It is indeed
She's the green skinned girl that's old.
Miria.
One of
I bet
Miria,
you-
yes,
I
yes.
bet you
Golden
Jordan
Branch.
knows.
Haha. Yes, one of my favorite figures. You're one of my one of the early ones that I think does not get enough love.
She's awesome.
Got it. And another place that we can see on the map is Emberdale. And Emberdale is a very special town or city because it's inhabited by dwarves that are not like the other dwarves in mythos. They're so-called how do you pronounce it? Emberdalians. They're actually light-footed dwarves that reside among the trees. They move among the treetops. And so they're actually nothing like other dwarfs in this story.
Dwarfs in the trees?
Yeah.
They're
You
not
didn't know
afraid
that?
of heights?
They're defending. They are not defending. These are very weird times when dwarves are in the trees.
I would say so.
So they're kind of unique, and we don't know much about them. Moving on to why have I written down Army of the Odysseus? Because it's one important thing. We can see to the left of the border of Xylona, we have Leandor and the Army of the Odysseus. And my tree dwarfs are on the job. No. So, Army of the Odysseus and Xylona's flock are the factions that are most connected. There are the most things in common of the allied factions, and so they have this elite guard that are I would say between these two realms. They're probably in other places as well, but I would say mainly between them. And then there is one last thing I just want to mention: the Harvest Court. Do you know what the Harvest Court is?
The Harvest Court?
Yeah.
I know it's a couple of the top advisors, and they're in Amberion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we don't know that place. The woods of Amberion are not located on the maps, and
Correct.
we'll probably hopefully see where that forest is soon.
I imagine it's kind of one of those places like you can't just stumble upon it. Like you have to know where you're going, and it's like they're not Colosseum. What's the thing like where like their Senate chamber or whatever, somewhere deep in the forest.
Yeah, I would think so as well. So it's a legendary place, and it's a gathering of ancient warriors that have dedicated their lives to protect the lands of Xylonia. And I just wanted to mention that because we have a couple of characters that are part of the Harvest Court. These are the faction facts that I decided to start with. Moving on to the actual characters. Starting with Artemis Silvercord, the warrior queen. Anyone want to say something they know about the warrior queen?
She has the silver cord bow.
She has the Silvercord bow. That's correct.
I know that about her, and she also has wings in her coronation mode.
She actually has wings here as well.
They're just small.
Yeah, they're just small. So the thing is, she was orphaned at a young age, when she was just 5, by the vampires, by vampire assassins, and she was raised by Uncle Aristeus, or as you know him, Lord Adon. And she's the faction leader, and we love her. And like you said, we have this, her coronation outfit, that this is how she looks when she is among, when she was crowned queen or at special ceremonies and stuff. But this is how she mostly look, and this is how you can see her.
That's the coolest version.
Definitely.
I don't know if it's something wrong with my device, but all I see is the 4 of us in the middle of the screen. I can't see anything you're pulling up, but I know what you're talking about.
Gotta just say if there's anything we can do, but I don't think we can.
It's okay.
Pretend,
I don't need to
pretend
see
it's
it.
an audio podcast like it used to be, and just listen.
They're all pulling up in my mind, but if you
Okay.
reference something, I can't see it.
Got it. We'll make sure. So the next character that we'll bring out is Lord Adon,
Yeah.
who, you could say that's her surrogate father when she was orphaned. So a stern man, but, well, very caring as well. Probably the best kind of stepdad you can have if you want to be the queen of all of Xylonia. And she is her advisor. She is not the only advisor that she has. There are quite a few. Another that I would put very close to her in the ranks is Asterion. His title is, his role is said to be a protector. And protector is kind of like, it summarizes everything that he is. He is he's the captain of the entire Silverhorn Guard. So all these 3 lines of defense for Castle Silverhorn, he is the head of all of them. Doesn't say if he is a specific over one of them, but he is definitely over all of these. And I actually think this is one of the characters that could be really cool as a 2.0 character in Ashes of Agbendor. Like a brute scale Minotaur.
I need him, so I hope he does get a version 2 at some point.
Awesome. Moving on. So these are the 3 characters that I put on kind of like from the queen, the top of Xylonia's flock.
Yeah.
but also worth noting is that if you say Army of the Odysseus, you would definitely see our dear king in charge of everything. And when it comes to Xylonia, it's a little bit more spread out. I'll get back to that. But here, I want to bring out Faunus, who is as far as I know, the only forest elemental character in all of the mythos that we've seen so far, of all of the characters revealed. And he is the commander of the Silverhorn Sentries, so kind of like the second line of defense. He is the one, and he can manipulate the forest and trees to work to his. So it's like and reading his bios and how powerful he is, and looking at the character, he becomes even more powerful. I mean, I like him even more when you study his bio and see how powerful he is. And yeah.
Sounds like he could be really powerful. I'd love to see that in him controlling trees and doing whatever. That sounds like a lot of fun. Seems like that could be a cool scene in a movie.
I totally agree. And Jesse, you were saying something?
Well, I don't know if you might be getting to this, but he's the one who oversaw the building of the maze-like hedges and trees around the castle. So just imagine, so the beast, what did you call it? The beast guard goes down first, so they're probably further out. Then you got the Silverhorn sentries defending, closer to the castle. But then you've got Faunus who's with them, and he's commanding the trees that are this perimeter to the castle. And soldiers or orcs or vampires or whatever running up to attack, and he's just like flinging them around like with vines and branches and stuff. So the whole outer perimeter of the castle is his playground, is the way I see it.
Yeah, playground for Faunus. Yeah. And he's also one of the advisors for Artemis. So I guess that says something, that she listened to other people's opinions, take their advice. She's not sitting there like a dictator. She's very inclusive as a leader, I would guess.
It looks like it. It appears that she is.
Yeah. And here are the Silverhorn Sentry that are, of course, part of the guards that Faunus is leading.
Yeah.
I didn't want to say anything more about the Silverhorn Sentry. Did you want to say something, Jesse?
Just not that there's anything wrong, but the figures themselves are not tall dwarves. They are their own. The figure as is some sort of hoofed cedar, fawn, woodland creature of some sort. I did just make a Silverhorn dwarf, but with actual dwarf parts. But yeah.
Yeah. It's a fawn. They're definitely fawns. According to...
You ever see when they clean the horse's hooves with that little tool?
Uh-huh.
You think these guys just they walk into their cabin or their little thing and they got one of those hanging on the door and they got to clean their hooves every time they come in the house? I dig that stuff out of them.
Well,
I just was thinking about how much of a pain in the butt it'd be to have hooves.
Yeah,
I think that's because of the horseshoes.
Oh, so these people wouldn't be shoed?
Well, deers aren't shoed.
That's true. But these people are probably going to be... You only need shoes if you're walking on streets, and these people are probably going to be walking on streets and stuff, right?
No.
Nah.
Am I wrong?
Around the woods.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean...
Maybe Asterion being the, maybe the Minotaurs. And the Centaurs.
Oh, Jesse, you should do a Silverhorn Farrier custom figure.
Ooh, okay.
And that's his sole job in
is cleaning the feet.
Is to take care of all the Silverhorn feet. And the centaur, right? Because he's
the most
and the horse.
most miserable SOB in Xylarnia.
Oh, he'd be pretty busy because he's got the horse, right? He's got the moose.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
He's got the
Yeah.
centaur.
He's got all the
s-
sentries.
all the sentries.
Dude, that's a gold mine.
Do it, Jesse. You can have
Okay.
that one. That's for you.
All right. We'll cook something up.
So then for every 2 Silverhorn sentries, you have one of those going behind carving, cleaning their hooves.
Hmm.
Okay, so I'll move on to one of Steve's favorites here now, the Whisperling Myria Golden Branch, role being Defender. And, there are a lot of different kinds of elves, and we keep getting introduced to new kinds of elves every year, it feels like. The Whisperlings are, located at the northern parts, so they are definitely more in charge of defending that area of Xylonia. They are, I would say that they are, she's, it says that she's a defender. That's her role, but she's also a queen.
Hmm.
So she is a queen among the Whisperlings.
Hmm.
Which, okay, so we have Queen Artemis, but we also have Queen Myria Goldenbranch in the same realm, which is that she, I would say, is loyal to Queen Artemis and would go there and defend her and the realm, but she's not her subject in that matter. Just interesting to see what the Whisperlings are.
I like the Whisperlings.
I did not pick up on the queen tidbit about her. That's interesting.
Yeah, there are. Oh, maybe I got that wrong.
I know she leads a force to Silverhorn to help defend, but
Let's remove that one. I actually had made a note. Yeah, because I had made a note here that I misread, so I definitely should remove that. Keep her as a defender and leader of the Whisperlings. Okay.
So
But
I was thinking with the Silverhorn though, they have hands and thumbs. They can probably ferry her themselves, right?
That's a good thought. You're absolutely right.
Like just take a seat, plop your hoof up, check
or
it
they
out.
just help each other out.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's just,
I'll clean
for
your
them.
feet,
It's
you
like
clean my feet.
for them, it wouldn't it be like coming home and taking your work boots off? They're just gonna come home, sit down on a chair, start messing with their hooves.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking. I'm sorry, Emil. Go ahead.
no,
Branch Defender.
very important thing to add there. We need to cover as much as we can about Xylonia's flock and their hooves. So good point. And moving on to, and this, I'm gonna come back to Myria and my queen thought that was wrong, but I'm gonna tell you why I thought it. Okay, moving on to Orn Steelhide. And here we have one of those elves that are living among the treetops. They're at least moving among the treetops, which is pretty impressive with the armor that Orn wears. What is said about him? He's joyful and light-hearted, comfortable leading his comrades in Rackers and Emberdillion folk songs, and leading them into battle. But he's also a prince.
Yes.
Because it says Prince Orn Steelhide. Just reading soldier means like, okay, he's one of the soldiers, but he's a prince. So if he's a prince, and I doubt that he's a relative to, maybe he could be, but just seeing that there are different factions within Xylonia.
The only king that we know of the dwarves is
Bromden.
Yeah. So is it his son? No, he's a different last name, right?
These are very different. There are more dwarves than those, I would say.
Yeah, that there's multiple kingdoms of dwarves, or at least different divisions. This is just what we know so far. So there's probably was or is a king of the Emberdellians that is his father, but we haven't met him yet.
Thorn's my favorite dwarf.
He's green.
Because of
He's
the
definitely good.
colors.
Yeah,
He's pretty cool.
yeah, he's one of my favorites.
So that's why I wrote, in the illustration here, a little white line below Miria and Orin Steelhide, like if they are leaders in some kind of from where they are. And here we have Thistlethorn, the Relic Keeper. Jesse, do you want to start talking about things? Oh, this is first of all, this is the hardest word for a Swedish person to learn within the English language, and there's so many different ways we have to Thistlethorn. That's like, the kids go on repeat saying. Okay, I'm trying my best now, Jesse.
Sorry, I was just getting caught up in Curtis's comment there. So Thistlethorn he's a woodland goblin, so he is a subspecies of goblin. And I've tried to pester Eric Treadaway to reveal more, whether they're, did the goblins come first and then the woodland goblins came out of that lineage, or were the woodland goblins the original ones and the goblins came out of that? So I haven't got a confirmation on it. So he's a type of goblin. He's one of the last of his kind. I don't know exactly how it's worded on his bio at the moment, but they're a fading species, and he's the relic keeper. And Jeremy recently revealed that he's grumpy. Like he'll do his thing, but if he's not at home around his comforts, he's grumpy and grouchy, which I just think is a completely different spin than I had on him in my head. And it's fun trying to reimagine that based on that. And apparently he's got a significant role in the story.
Do you like him less when you realized that he was grumpy?
No. It just totally changed his voice in my head of how he behaved.
Because he doesn't look grumpy. Like
Yeah.
I never would have thought he was grumpy. Because look at him.
Yeah.
He looks like he wants to be petted.
Yes.
Yeah,
I imagine that'd be kind of like Rocket in the first Guardians movie when
Exactly.
someone goes to pet him and he's like, "What are you doing?"
Like everyone calls him Squirrel. He gets mad. I can see that.
When you've talked to Eric about why it's called a fuss monk, because it says fuss monk in quotations or bracket.
I did not specifically ask that. I don't. I'm assuming that's just like a name he came up with and just worked it into the story.
Mhm.
Kind of like, skunks, or is it guinea pigs? What is it they call a whistle pig? Is that a guinea
A
pig?
groundhog
Groundhog. Sorry, that's
is
what I
a
meant.
whistle pig.
Yeah. So you've got your like regional variation, so kind of like hobbits are called halflings in a lot of the other parts, like in the south in the Lord of the Rings. But up by them, they're called hobbits. So yeah.
There you go. I think that was a really good telling the story about who he is. Going back to
And-
what you said, Stephen, about silver cord, previous Artemis bow, that is one of the relics that he was keeping, taking care of until it was time to be used to defend the realm.
Nice.
Ready to move on? Do you want to add something,
Yeah.
Jesse? See something
I
else?
did want to add one more thing. I mean, he is the figure that comes with the Sword Horseman. I know an Equidron does too, but right? Didn't an Equidron come with him?
Yes.
But the Sword Horseman, I can't remember, somewhere in there it said, I feel like it's hinted at, if not outright, says that the Sword Horseman summons Equidron. So, not saying that Thistlethorn's the one who summons it, but if he's the keeper of the silver cord, which Artemis then, I imagine she doesn't run around with that all the time. She uses that for very special occasions. So I just think that's kind of fun that he gets to
It's interesting.
keep watch over all these important relics and artifacts.
Yeah.
Nice.
Moving on to Thalin Frostbow,
Ooh.
the bowcaster, who is one of the last survivors of the Siege of Shelligard. So, her importance in this story is that when they found out that the Soul Spiller has been retaken, she is the one who, together with Ragnar Stormforger, goes on this adventure to tell everyone across the realm about that the Soul Spiller has been retaken. It's time to gather the troops to, rally the troops and fight
Yeah.
back. And that's, that's what I wanted to say about her. And moving on, unless anyone of you want to add something
Just
about
want
your
to add
love
that
for Thalin.
I love Thalen, and I love her color scheme, and I want more people that are in those like colors. Just saying. But we can move on.
Totally agree.
Duban, the Ranger, one of the few non-Fey characters in the faction. He's a human and a ranger, messenger, traveling across, with messages to the guards, and also bringing his dear companion there, Vedfolnir. That's his name, his or her name.
His bird's name?
Yeah.
That's a hard name to say all the time.
Just every
I like
time
the way
you
say it.
So every time you call him, like, come here, Vedfolnir. It's like you could just, hello, Bo. Come here, Bo. That would, but it's a cool name.
It's a cool figure. It's a cool character, right?
Awesome. It's one
I
of the
believe-
coolest figures.
I believe there's a bit of mystery to him, right? Like we kind of wonder why he's the only human there. Like, why is he there? What's he doing? Right, Jesse? Or am I wrong on that? I thought there was a little mystery going on with him.
There's a little more mystery with the horse.
Exactly.
I
And I
think
was
that
like
there
thinking
is-
we should read the full bio for the horse,
Okay.
because that's moving on to Boreas. His steed, or you shouldn't say his steed, but let me read this, because there are so many of the steeds that have no story at all. But here's what it says. The mighty horses found in the wilds of Xylona combine the primordial strength of untamed beasts with the deep intelligence born of the fey magic that surrounds them. While these proud beasts refuse to be tamed, they have been known to willingly offer their assistance to members of Xylona's flock who are in need of their speed and their strength. Legend has it that the greatest of these wild horses, a blue roan stallion known as Boreas, appears only to the noblest warriors and only in times of dire need. Said to possess the chaotic power of a winter storm somehow contained within the body of an animal, Boreas races forward like the chilling northern winds, cutting through any foes who dare to threaten those under his protection. So, with this story, that's where you see what's so special with Duban. What is it about Duban that makes Boreas, this legendary steed, go with him?
Mhm.
I think it is that they really complement each other's color scheme. Boreas saw that. He's like, look at that dude. He would look awesome riding me. So we're just gonna do this.
Like that cape. Okay, got it.
I think he's a fallen ranger king who will one day reclaim his throne from the stewards who control it now.
He's Aragorn.
What? Who?
He's
What?
who? What?
I don't know.
I mean, I think he definitely gives off that vibe of,
Yeah.
of Aragorn in the, the human raised amongst the elves and all that stuff. And Boreas, the whole thing about being like the winter storm contained within the body of the horse and like all that is just, I've always liked the animal characters and stuff, but and when he was the first horse to get a bio, I thought that was really cool, and that it's such this powerful story that where he's almost like a fey creature in and of himself. I just think is really cool and fun. You know, it's not just a horse. You know, there's so much more to it, and you know, what need, like I think that's like you were saying, part of the mystery with Dubon is, you know, is it delivering a message that, you know, Alithia has the soul spiller, they have the soul spiller, Alithia's returned, and you know, to put up the defenses that, you know, it's game time kind of a thing. Yeah.
It's because I put them in. Yeah, I think. Yeah,
It's like,
I think I remember something like that. I think it was Jeremy's proclamation after the fact that was his horse, right? But it doesn't really matter if it was or not.
They
It's
met
part
on
of
a
the story
photo
now.
shoot.
well, that's brilliant. Anyway, and here we have the Xylonian Guard.
1/6 shooter trying to take credit for everything.
He does
Oh.
deserve a lot of credit. We are looking at most of these pictures that he has taken. So
Yeah,
Trevor, thank you.
He snaps a few photos. He didn't create the line. Oh, that's they're pals because he's trying to say that Dubon's only important because of himself. I put him in the picture together. Dubon wouldn't be anybody. That's basically what he just said.
Everybody's got a camera on their phone.
That's like
right.
everyone can take. Yeah, I can also do that. Yeah.
I'm washing my hand, Trevor. I'm not joining them. I'm not part of this.
Wait a minute, I'm not part of this either.
Trevor.
It's the gangster hosts. You know,
The gangster host.
well, I mean, yeah. They're the gang. That's even worse than any other gang. This is the
Let's,
gang. Gang. That's who these guys are, and I'm afraid of them. So
Let's
Here
move
we
on to
have
the Zillernian Guard, and then Trevor
Yes,
can
thank
tell us
you.
what he did to make this happen.
Yeah.
yeah, these were peasants before Trevor took photos of them, and then they got their shields and became the guards of Xylonia.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Also, okay, so the Xylonian guards, you know, they're spread across the realm, and there are different fae folk. Like there are whisperlings, and there are other elves defending different outskirts of Xylonia. And you can read a lot about these more, but that's all I was planning to say. And feel
I
free
like
to
his
add
green.
some.
I like his green face. I just wanted to say that.
And what race is that now?
Whisperling.
Good. We're learning. Good
See?
learning.
I'm a
Okay.
good student.
Yeah, you are. Or wait a minute. Yeah, you are. Okay.
What level of the defense perimeter are the Xylonian guards?
Here I
They're-
would say that out. Oh, Steven, you want to say? Yeah.
They're the middle level.
I don't know. I'm
no.
asking. I have no idea.
Xylonian guards are the guardians of Xylonia, so they are crossed around the realm, you know, all the outskirts, maybe in other areas as well, but they're defending the border, and you can see on their fancy shield what faction they are representing.
So they're fodder.
No, they're not fodder. These are the first line. That's why, you know, the armies don't get into Xylonia.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Jesse,
So
you
these
They're
are
right?
like
You doing okay?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
All right.
okay.
So
So
they're border patrol.
Yeah.
I think Xylonian guards sounds so much cooler than border patrol.
I mean, yeah, but that's what they're doing. They're kind of
Yeah.
protecting the border, right?
You're actually saying that, okay, they're like, yeah, we have these fancy shields because we are cool, and the Asterion is like, yeah, let's give them shields because they think they are something. Yeah, these are the best positions, the best jobs. No,
They're the greeters. They're the you know, they're the gatekeepers to Xylernia. You know, they'll let you in or not, depending on, you know, what you are, your threat level. Yeah, they're the furthest out. And then I imagine, except for the border of with Leandor, where the elite guard patrol, they're everywhere else, and maybe even further outside of the realm, keeping tabs. I don't know if I would call them spies, but they're further out, and then Duban and the other rangers are the ones going between the different outposts for the Xylonian guards, and further inland to deliver messages to.
I'm gonna Jesse, I'm just gonna say what Steven says after you've said all that. He's gonna say, so they're border patrol.
Yeah.
Look, yeah, border patrol. If you want to remember the Xylonian guards, I mean, that's what they're doing, and then we can move. There is one border they don't protect, and here we have the elite guard. This particular character is Lige of the elite Elven Guard, but there's not much written about him, more than that there are the elite guard. So elite Elven Guard.
We'll make it up.
Yeah, okay. The elite guards are protecting the borders between Leandor and Xylonia.
Okay.
So
how about they're the guards that get sent to like the hottest areas that need them? Oh, I thought we were making it up. All right, forget it.
Okay.
We could play like that.
So you who watch
there
this,
wasn't
you
much
can
about
decide.
them.
You can say that they are guards, the elite guards on the border between Leandor, like they're trained together with them. They're really good friends there. Or you can go with the lens story, and that they travel to the hottest parts because they are shiny like gold. But please try to remember the first thing as well, because it's it's fun for the lore to know what they are. It's a blended cool unit with half orcs and elves and humans. It's like, okay, Stephen, I see that you're nodding, but you have something negative to say about them.
I do not. I think that's a cool figure. I like that figure. I think it's cool. I don't have nothing negative to say.
Okay. I'm just gonna say that there are also minotaurs in this elite guard, so
Also
that makes them cooler.
minotaurs.
Elf soldier. I just put them down here as like the main army. There's not much to say about these. That there are builders. We have the elf ranger, which is way cool. I mean, it's a very, very cool soldier, but it doesn't have a bio, but we can imagine what the rangers do and what the guards are doing. We have the deluxe male elf builder.
Wait. Is the elf ranger the same type of ranger as Duban?
He has.
Duban's not an elf.
I thought you was gonna say no. He has green green cape.
Well, he does. So, are they the same or not?
He doesn't have an elf or a bird.
Different. Like you've got desert camo, you've got forest camo, you've got urban.
Well, what the hell
camo.
kind of camo is Duban?
Colder, northern rocks and snow.
Oh, he's a northern ranger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he prefers when he is in the northern part of Xylonia, because then his cape, it's gray. But as soon as he goes down in the forest, there's like, hey, there's Duban. It's like,
I don't know. Gray blends in the green pretty good too.
Yeah. Well, we should not say anything bad about Duban. He's amazing.
He's the best.
Well,
He's
they probably
definitely one
stick
of the
him
best,
all the way up north anyway,
sure.
because that's what you would do, so no one recognizes the soon-to-be king.
These faction focus are getting very unique, I guess.
I don't mean to derail you. Go ahead.
You don't. Deluxe male elf builder. Snow camo. I like it. Gray snow. It's not yellow snow though. Okay, and then we have the deluxe female elf builder. Just imagine having camo clothes for yellow snow. Sorry. Okay. I'm just moving on. Bronze dwarf. And we have silver dwarf.
Wait, you're not going to just fly over the dwarfs, right?
There's
Are these the guys? Are these the ones that are in the trees?
No.
We don't know.
Charlie?
I honestly been thinking about that, because except for Orn, there is no story that I found about the dwarves in Xylonia. So when we come to the bronze dwarf and we come to the silver dwarf, the only dwarves that it's easy to place them is with Orn. But I don't know where to place these.
Well, Orn, if I remember right, Orn comes with 2 different head options. So I always thought that one of them was Orn and the other one were like his people. Like if you army built him.
Yeah.
Kinda like
wasn't
Brom.
even funny. It was just
Like Bromden, you
Yeah,
can put the
for
different you can do the same thing, except it's weird to have a bunch of dwarves that don't have beards, but yeah.
Mhm.
Wait,
Moving on.
where do the elf builders fit into the ranks?
They fit in at a price point. That's awesome.
In the price, when you see them, all of them. Oh no! Oh,
I didn't want to call you out on it.
Oh, Kirby,
Sure.
Kirby.
okay. So,
So,
while I'm just gonna do
do you want me
something,
to talk while you do?
it's not now, not now.
Have you ever
Um,
watched farrier videos? They're very mesmerizing. They're very
Farrier.
I mean, they can really yeah, you watch a video on farriers and it's very, what's the word that they call the videos when they're like just pleasing to watch? Jesse, what is that called?
Satisfying.
No, they're
No. Not
oh,
satisfying. The kids
shoot.
say it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not a kid,
Yeah, but
terminology wise.
Well,
mentally,
I just
maybe.
know.
I
Like
don't know.
it's
They
like
got the
called
Riz
something. Now
on
I
Fleek.
don't
yeah,
even
it's
know what the
when
hell
it's
you're talking about.
satisfying.
ASMR.
Yes.
It's like ASMR videos
That's
to watch
sound.
the farriers.
That's sound.
It's
ASMR is sound.
no, it's not. It could be visual
Yeah.
too.
It's sound based.
It's incredible. The farrier stuff's really cool. Anyway, I digress. I'm sorry.
Do yourselves a favor and look up images of newborn horse hooves.
Okay.
Okay. Do yourself a favor and don't look up images of abscesses on hooves.
No,
Ooh.
don't look. I wouldn't say don't look up abscesses on anything.
Well, some people like looking at that kind of thing. Do you know there's an island in Michigan that is loaded with horses? There's
There
no
is.
cars at all.
There is. It's true.
And it's a big industry being a farrier there and to clean up after all the horses. Did you know
I
that,
think I'm
Steve?
gonna move there.
I did. It's called Mackinac Island, and it's north of me, up where right between where Lower Michigan meets Upper Michigan or the Upper Peninsula, and it's a really cool place. It's like walking back in time. There's actually a movie called Somewhere in Time that was made with Christopher Reeves and Jane Seymour. Wow, was she hot back in the '70s, late '70s? I'd like
And
to
the
bring that
80s and the
medicine woman some.
90s. Is that where that movie was?
Yeah, absolutely.
Huh.
Well, guys, I
So-
hate to do it, but I gotta punch back into work.
Oh,
Work schmirk.
they're not going to
So-
let you in. You have to fight your way in. Is that what you're saying?
I meant on my time card.
Oh, I thought you had. All right.
No, I work with a bunch of framers. I don't think like picture framers. I'm not punching anybody.
Give him hell, Jesse.
Yeah. Hope
Thanks
never
for
back
having me
down.
on.
Thanks,
Enjoy
buddy.
the rest of the party.
Thank you.
All right.
We'll see ya.
So, shall we move on
Yeah.
to the Harvest Court? And the Harvest Court on this map consists of 3 characters, but one of them is so small, so I will only tell you about him for now. But let's start with Lord Bardrick.
Oh.
What should you say? It's basically he's a powerful lord, and with a lot of wisdom and knowledge, and a very kind man who sends his troops to aid Queen Artemis in the Great War. And one thing that's nice to say is that his soft-spoken kindness is only matched by his skill with his axe.
Ooh.
No.
That's something to remember. Kind and skilled with an axe.
He's as kind, but he will cut you in half.
Yes. And then we have Krotos, who's also
do.
part of the Harvest Court. And I missed him. I will put him in the end illustration here among the court. I don't know how that happened, but it did. And what can we say about Krotos? It seems like he is also compassionate and has a lot of empathy. But the main thing to remember about him is that he's a healer, and it goes with his character, empathic healer.
He's also surly.
He's also surly.
It says, although often at odds with his natural tendency toward a surly demeanor and a short temper.
His
Krotos.
name's Krotos. And don't call him
Yeah,
Shirley.
but that is not what. Read the next sentence. Despite that,
It says, it is, okay. Although often at odds with his natural tendency towards a surly demeanor and a short temper, it is Krotos' compassionate empathy as a healer for which he has truly defined him. So, he's kind of grumpy, kind of a know-it-all, but he's good-hearted and deep inside, right?
yeah. So yeah. Yeah.
Well, he's an
You
interesting
hated him
character.
that he only was empathic. Now we know that he's also grumpy.
Kirby, my meal's
So-
not going to improve if you just tell him it's okay. All right?
I'll never learn. I'll never
Yeah.
learn.
How's he going to learn from his mistakes? We got, you can't just let him go.
But I am gonna move on through this. We only have 2 more characters.
Let's go.
Krotos also has hooves.
Yep.
Yes. We need to we need to solve that for real. How would they manage? Apharius, the stable lord of the Harvest Court, and the one who trained the last character that we're gonna show. Let's just go to that as well. He trained Alder, who then Lord Bardrick could gift to Queen Artemis. So this is how they're connected. And of course, you can really see that the Harvest Court was a big deal among the characters in the latest Xylona wave. Most characters were, if not all, well, they all have a relation to that at least. And
got
that
a moose.
That
Moose.
moose is great.
That moose is awesome. I love that damn thing.
Yeah,
that is
so
still
cool.
it's one of the craziest things. I still look at that and I'm impressed with it, but at the same time, it's like I have a moose on my shelf. It's like, and in Sweden we have people. I'm gonna take this out, and that was Xylona's flock.
It was.
But in Sweden, when it comes to moose, I mean, there are places in Sweden where there are people from Germany that comes to Sweden, and we have warning triangles for moose, and they
Yeah.
take them down and steal them. So instead, we're selling the moose signs to tourists, and there are even places where they take moose poo and make necklaces and paper and stuff like that and sell to the people in Germany. That's what I've heard, at least.
Moose
There you
poo.
go.
They said Swedish people sell moose poo to people in Germany. That's what we've learned today, people.
Wow.
So I don't know who's weirder, the people that pick up the poo and sell it or the people who buy it. But you guys are basically all the same genetic stew, right?
Yeah, maybe a lot of it. I mean, I don't know how I don't know how to reply to that. I'm just thinking about. We've also learned that Krotos is grumpy and empathic at the same time.
All right.
But yeah,
Despite all that you did wrong today, Emil, it was a great show.
Yeah, thanks.
It was a great show, and I think that it was very informative. And I know I learned something. Can't tell you what it is, but I learned it. Besides the moose poo selling,
What did you learn?
um,
What did you learn?
I learned that the Xylonian guard is a border patrol guy.
That's actually something.
It's a
At
good
least
lesson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it is a good lesson, and they're very important.
So, thanks everybody for joining us. Hope you enjoyed that walkthrough of Xylona's.
Before
What?
you bring us out, Steve, can I just tell the audience something? I'm sorry.
He's so tired. He's
I know.
so
It's
tired.
tough.
I-
I know.
I
He
felt like I
worked
had
so
momentum.
hard. He worked so hard for this, and I know, but we just have a little bit of housekeeping to do. Everyone, if you're enjoying the show, like and subscribe. Hit the
Yeah.
like button. Hit the subscribe button. You know, it helps us be seen, helps us be heard, lets us know you're out there. Go ahead. And Emil, should we discuss ahead of time what is going to happen next week?
Yes, let's do that.
Okay. Next week on Friday, we are going to do what people have really enjoyed us doing, and that is a live react. No, not live, a reaction video. So we're going to do a reaction video to the new Wave release and the news that the Horsemen drop on us on that Friday Night Live. We're going to watch it, and then we're going to drop the video, record it of our reaction, probably the next day. Right, buddy?
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
be on the
At the
lookout
latest.
for that. Yeah. I know it's not a live, but I'm just telling you that it's coming. So, and if you want a live reaction immediately after, as Jesse had said, you can watch Off-World, Odd-World that they do, because they're going to be discussing it like immediately after on that channel. Go ahead,
Awesome.
Steve. Take it away, buddy. I'm sorry.
All right, everybody. Like I was saying, thanks for joining us. We'll be back in a couple of weeks. Till that time, we will see you around the land of Mythos and Cosmerium.
Bye.